Okay, you're on.
Okay, hey there, hello, and welcome again to Hempology 101! Right on. Thanks again, everybody, and again, thanks for bringing the beautiful music. Sorry I got to cut it off, but I'm a little bit late already. I'm kind of all over the road, but I really appreciate not only every person that comes here, but certainly everybody that gets a little bit more involved in Hempology. And True's been coming and singing for years, and appreciate it. Pardon?
Too.
Yeah, it's all good. And you're about to watch our game show as well, and I certainly appreciate all the contestants that come out to that. But I'm also awed at times at how I've inspired people. And if you haven't heard of Up in Smoke yet, there's another activist group in town that meet here, actually, really more over at the what's called the Mushroom Tree, I think, though. Thursdays at 4:20. So if you want to come have a 4:20 on Thursdays, you can come to Beacon Hill Park. And the Up in Smoke crew is actually even sort of designed, you could say, a way of hotboxing the mushroom tree just around the corner with tarps. And I said that we were going to do it next week after Hempology. Well, in fact, the guys brought the tarps tonight. You guys are going to hotbox the mushroom tree after the meeting here. You stick around. I got some herb left. Those are the two things, because I say I pretty much forgot mine. And I'm going to have to leave right away. My girlfriend Gail isn't feeling well enough yet to have made it. She had a doctor's visit earlier. If you don't know, though, my girlfriend just had cancer surgery a few weeks ago. She's doing really well. They got all the cancer. They didn't take any muscle. She hasn't gotten infected. And she's getting stronger every day. But tomorrow night, if you want to come out to Team 420 dodgeball night, I'll talk more about it later, but she's going to be out tomorrow night. That's her big trip tomorrow. So anyway, yeah, that's not really the normal Hempology introduction. Normally Hempology is all about educating people about cannabis and prohibition. And tonight is actually a special meeting for us. In some ways, it's the last game show before our final. Next week is the final in this year's Reach for the Pot tournament. And the winning team next week will end up getting 4 trophy bongs, glass bongs, personally made for them. And they'll be getting those bongs actually the first Wednesday in September, because that'll be the next time we meet. There's only, again, one more meeting here next week, and then we won't meet again until the first Wednesday in September, where we march from City Hall to the Parliament buildings, and we take our annual postcard picture. And that's when I'll give out the prizes for the contest we had in a couple of weeks, and the bongs for the game show tournament as well. The first Wednesday in September. I think it's the 6th. Yeah, that's our 16th anniversary for Hempology 101. We've been doing these various fun and games for 16 years now. And so, yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun for sure. And again, we like to dress up for that too. But anyway, there's lots of stuff to talk about. There's lots of events that Hempology does. We're probably the most active group in the country by far. And so there's lots to talk about, things happening. But we got a game show here, folks, so we're going to jump into it. Now, there are a couple of late contestants from actually the defending champions, the Potley crew. Oh shit, I didn't update their sign there, but this is the Potley crew over here, whose captain is off visiting family, but a couple members are showing up late, so thanks Lee and Will for subbing in. And we have over here, where are you guys? Up in Smoke, that's right. Smoke in the water. Uh-oh. Hopefully I got that right down here. Yeah, Smoke on the Water. And I don't know, none of you guys, or Brandy actually won a bong a couple years ago, so we have a returning champ here. And otherwise, actually Jay hasn't even seen this damn thing yet, so I'm going to explain the rules here for everybody, and then we'll get into it. So there's 10 chances to get points here. 8 of them are trivia questions where I will ask a question, and if a contestant knows the answer, they clap. If you know the answer, or if you're like reading the newspaper and it's right in front of you, don't yell it out, please. It's not fair. It's better to have people compete. There's not just prizes at stake, but way more ego than you'll know. And so it's important for you guys not to shout out your answers. Anyway, if a person claps, I'll come over to them and they got to give me an answer then. They can't talk to their teammates or think anymore. They got to spit something out. If they get it correct, they get 20 points. If they don't, the other team gets a guess for 20 points. If they don't get it correct, I try to give out some hints. It's worth 10 points. If no one gets the 10 points, we do a multiple choice, which is worth 5. I'll explain that when we get there. And otherwise, I pretty much make up everything as we go along. It's kind of the way I like to do things. So, we start off each one of our game shows with a question about Hempology 101 or our sister club, the Cannabis Buyers Club of Canada. Just after starting Hempology 16 years ago, I started to meet people that were sick, that used cannabis as medicine and needed a place to get good quality cannabis. And then I met a lady who made cookies and massage oils and stuff, and she volunteered in the AIDS community. And it really blew me away to see how people could use cannabis in cookies and skin creams and help out with skin cancer or almost anything that is a serious medical problem seems to be helped out with cannabis. And it really inspired me to start the Cannabis Buyers Club, which is now the oldest medical dispensary in the world for over 15 years. I've been selling cannabis products to people with permanent physical disabilities and diseases. We've got about 3,600 members of our club, and it's a really amazing organization. If you want to read more about it, I'll get somebody to go around with papers, but before you leave, grab a newspaper, the Cannabis Digest. It's a newsletter that we sort of made in combination. Actually, you know what, Patches? You've already ruined enough of them. I don't want you touching them anymore.
Hey, go sit down or something.
So, yeah, if you want to find out more about the work of the Cannabis Buyers Club and medical marijuana, Hempology 101 and the Buyers Club work together in all sorts of ways. And publishing this newspaper has been very good for us to get the word out about the products that we make and how they help people, or otherwise about the regulations that Health Canada's made. Because right now they're going to change these regulations and they're going to take people's rights away to grow medical marijuana. And you might be sitting here without a Health Canada card. You might not even have a medical marijuana problem right now, or a problem that you would need cannabis as medicine. But one day you likely will. We have a chance now, whether you have a card or not, to comment on Health Canada's changes to their licenses. And they're taking away patients' rights to grow. And whether you're a patient or not, you have to stand up and help us fight this. Because they want to have drug companies gain full control of the cannabis market. And while we might not be able to stop them, we have to do what we can. And we plan on having some rallies on certain days. But until now, we're really encouraging people to write letters to tell Health Canada to stuff it, that this is not going to work, that people need to grow their own medicine, and that drug companies should not have full control of the medical marijuana movement.
Yeah.
Or sorry, anyway, not movement, but medical marijuana sales, legal ones anyway.
Yeah, no.
So, like I say, the Cannabis Digest gives you all sorts of information about stuff that's happening, and in there is our calendar of events. So if you want to find out when next year's joint rolling contest is, it's actually in there.
Yeah.
And there's a whole bunch of other things that we do with Hempology 101. And actually, the first question is from that.
Does it tell you if you need to bring meat or have your own?
Easy, buddy. What is happening next March 19th? That is the second annual Hempology 101 event. We do a lot of different things with Hempology 101, and sometimes we try something and it doesn't really work and we don't do it again. Sometimes we keep it up for 16 years and it just keeps getting better. What is happening in next March? The barbecue. No, it's not the second annual Hemp Burger Barbecue. I just gave out hemp burgers a couple months ago on the back lawn of the courthouse, protesting our upcoming bakery trial with the Cannabis Buyers Club. And it was a bit of a test run, but in January, from January 16th to something like February 10th, we're going to be having hemp burger barbecue in the back lawn of the courthouse every day because we have a 20-day jury trial, and we're just going to move in. No, January 16th to February 10th or something like that. But 4 weeks steady barbecues and just camp it out at the courthouse. But I'm not giving out hints. That wasn't a hint. That wasn't a hint. No, they got a 20-point guess. So, but you're ready, are you? You're ready. Okay, well, they're keen. And I know that you guys are missing some of your top players here. No pressure at all, Kate, but I'm going to make you be the captain here. No pressure. No, it's all in fun. You get lots of prizes and everything for playing, right? So, 18. But what do you think? Second annual event.
Oh, that's sad, because I really like that. Now they gotta find out how they can get it.
Hempology's March. No, the Hempology March is coming up here in September. So again, I think it's September 6th or something, but the first Wednesday in September is when we march. You guys think they know what's happening. Second annual
TC Run?
TC Run. No. But Team 420, well, me and Herb, our 12-foot tall pot leaf costume, actually entered into the Times Columnist 10K this year. I ran 10K in an hour and 6 minutes, which included doing a bong hit on Dallas Road. I had a bunch of these guys with the bong hit station on Dallas Road, and it was actually the fourth bong hit that really nailed me. But there's a water station right beside it. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Next year, if you're up to it, you know, join me for the 10K. I'll pay for your entry fee if you can run with me. That's a little tricky. But anyway, these guys get a 10-point guess here. You have any guesses at all, or should I do multiple choice? Okay, here we go with multiple choice. This year, in March, we will be having our second annual UBC convention. We have a Hempology 101 club. Oh wait, what I do is, just a sec here, I give you 4 options.
Because that's what comes to mind right away, right?
You have to talk amongst your teammates which one you agree with, and then I'll give you I'll read it twice. But, you got some backup coming, but let's see. Here's your 4 options. Is it the UBC Hempology 101 convention? Is it our annual general meeting for Hempology 101? Is it our art auction that we have for the Cannabis Buyers Club? Or is it the Vancouver Island University Convention? Because we also have a club for Hempology 101 in Nanaimo at the university there, former Malaspina College. Hey Ryan, we'll sub you in after this question, but it's just the first one. I'm still babbling. Perfect. You've hustled well. I've babbled well. Okay, here it is. This March 19th, the second UBC convention, the second AGM, second art auction, or second Vancouver Island University convention? I'll come to you guys first. What you guys guess here? Malaspina. Well, it's the VIU former Malaspina, and there it is for 5 points. You picked it up. Somewhat handicapped, but I guess, Will, you were the last one to ask, so I'll take you off the team here. No, Will, sorry, Lee. I don't know why you picked it in here, sorry. But thanks for playing, Lee, and thanks for making it, Ryan. And is the other Ryan showing up for it? Oh, well, we'll see how it goes. You may be in the game here. We'll see. But game on. 5 points for the crew. But lots of points left to get here, folks. So tonight's second question is a pretty tough one, but it's in some ways an interesting one. If you haven't heard of The Emperor Wears No Clothes, you haven't studied the history of this movement very much, because it really wasn't a pot movement. There was a pot industry before this book came out, but there weren't really very many activists that were trying to legalize it until we realized that hemp and the cannabis that we smoke are not only related to each other, but they've been taken from us essentially by corporations that are raping and pillaging our planet at our collective expense. So Jack wrote a book about all the benefits of cannabis, all the old uses that we had for it, and about a number of different reasons why it needed to be legalized. And on the back of his book, he put out a challenge to the world to prove him wrong. And he challenged people to write an essay basically on why cannabis could not essentially save the world from all of its economic, environmental, political, medical, and other problems. Within $2,000, how much was Jack willing to pay? How much was this challenge worth? Within $2,000. Ryan. 10 grand. No, it's not 10 grand. But this man knows how to play the game. You just gotta take the guess and jump. What's your guess? 100,000. No. No, it's closer to 10 grand than it is 100, but it's somewhere in between. And it's give or take 2,000. So, well, what's your guess? 30 grand? There it is right there for 10 points. $30,000 is the amount that Jack and his friends were willing to fork out. And to my knowledge, that has never been claimed by anybody. And it never will, because cannabis in so many ways can benefit our health and the environment. And wow, the Potley crew's got 15 points, but the game's far from over yet. So if you want to keep up to date with the cannabis news, I'd like to think our newspaper's really good at sort of filtering out what's on the internet. If you want to keep up to what's happening online, it's something that I really need people to do as well. We have forums, and when it comes to upcoming protests with Health Canada, the newspaper only prints 4 times a year, so you got to keep more up to speed with the internet. But there's all sorts of stuff that's happening out there, and one of them is certainly the fact that Mark Emery's sitting in jail right now. And let's see how many people are keeping up to date with what's happening there. Within 1 month, how many months does Mark have left in jail? John? 36 months. There it is, right on the button. 3 years from this weekend, I think, is when Mark is out. And so Smoke on the Water gets a big fat 20 points there. But Potley Crew's got 15. They're right behind, and lots of points to come. And so the next question, funny enough, is also in our newspaper. For 20 points, what is the correct name of Chris Bennett's latest book? Cannabis and the blah. You guys got to fill in the blah. For 20 big points, what is the answer? Holy Bible. No. No, you're thinking this one here, Sex, Drugs, Violence in the Bible. But no, it's not Holy Bible, so no more guesses here. What do you guys think? No, sorry, no more hints. Chris Bennett's latest book, Cannabis and the...
One person asked me for a toke on my joint, next thing you know.
For a big 20 points. And yeah, if you've not heard of Chris Bennett, he's the most renowned historian on the planet, really, in this subject. His first book, Green Gold, The Tree of Life, Marijuana and Magic and Religion, is a really great collection of information, historic documentation of the use of cannabis in almost every ancient culture that's existed around the world. It's sometimes a difficult read, but it really opened me up to the historical context of the work that I'm doing. And it's really neat to read about all the different ways that they used to use, hashish and stuff. Like the Egyptians, for example, would use hash in different ways. Like they burn it as incense in the temples. But if you look at old Egyptian hieroglyphic stuff, there's 2 places to see it they would have these long sticks with a little bit of incense burning on a cup in the end. There would be a ball of hash, and that would be held below the nose of the pharaoh. So you'd have like gods and goddesses holding this incense burner under their nose. And the other way that hash would appear in ancient Egyptian texts and stuff would be on top of their heads, because they used to make this concoction of hash and oil and put it on top of their head, and it would slowly melt. They'd have this gold band around their forehead. So a lot of the pictures are like musicians and people partying and stuff. And the idea would be that the gold band would stop the oil from dripping down onto their face and stuff, and would hold it into their hair, so that all the cannabis, like all the hash oil and stuff, would just absorb into their skin, into their head, and they'd get high from that. But what's your 20 points? Chris Bennett's book is called Cannabis and the Egyptians. No, I'm not slipping up that much. No, but the hint is Soma is in the title. Chris Bennett's latest book is really awesome, because his first one covers, pretty much full spectrum, the use of cannabis right up to the 19th century. His second book that Ryan mentioned focuses on the Bible. Sex, Drugs, Violence in the Bible is a really great in-depth look at the Old and New Testament. And honestly, what he says about cannabis is easy to accept. What he says about sex is off the rails. But when it comes to cannabis and its use historically, Chris really knows his stuff. And his latest book takes on I guess what some might call mythology. If you know it, keep it to yourself. Anthropologist George Wasson years ago tried to suggest that soma was magic mushrooms, and that all ancient texts referring to soma were more often than not referring to mushrooms. Not all the time, but historically speaking at least. And a lot of people around the world certainly have bought into that idea. But Chris has tried to suggest the opposite, that soma was more often cannabis-infused intoxicant, like bang, which is cooking milk, or cannabis into milk and throwing in a little bit of honey to sweeten it up. So the ancient terms, the land of milk and honey, was really meant to say that there's really good bang in the area. And otherwise, Chris, again, firmly believes that most of the ancient references in India and stuff were that were using the word soma were cannabis.
Somebody clapped.
What's your guess here? Cannabis and the Story of Soma. No, that's not it. That is a good name. Good name. I don't know if he thought of that one first.
Close.
If you guys don't take a guess like now, it's just not happening. Did I lose a guess?
Oh, fuzzy.
Oh, okay. And what's your guess? Cannabis and the Mythology of Soma. No, that's not it. So, here we go. Is Chris Bennett's newest book called Cannabis and the Soma Tree? Cannabis and the Soma Solution? Cannabis and the Solution of Soma? Or Cannabis and the Soma God? Which one of these titles is Chris Bennett's recent book? Cannabis and the Soma Tree, Cannabis and the Soma Solution, Cannabis and the Solution of Soma, or Cannabis and the Soma God? I'll get their lead because, no wait, yeah, they're in the lead.
Yeah.
So just a second. What's your guys' guess here? Both teams guessed Cannabis, the Soma Solution, and both teams got it right. There it is. So 5 points goes to both teams. They've got points in each question here, so it's neck and neck. 25 for the Smoke on the Water, and 20 for the Potley crew. So, oh my goodness, another question from the newspaper. Great place for trivia. For 20 points, who is touring parts of Canada right now? What Canadian activist under the tour name "No Medical Marijuana Card Required"? Someone who's written about in our newspaper here, and it's been around a week, so I figure it's fair to ask questions from it. But we'll take first or last name. I won't be that tough on y'all. First or last name, these guys, I heard a clap. Matt Murnaugh is touring around the first article you come to in the front page here is about Matt, who won a recent Ontario court decision striking down the medical marijuana access regulations because they've been too hard for patients to get into. And so some of the recommendations that Health Canada's made may make it easier for patients to gain access, but gain access to pharmaceutical pot. And so it's something that they may be making it easier to get cards, as they should be. There's only about 4,000 patients in Canada with Health Canada cards. There's about 1 million Canadians in chronic pain. There's certainly tens of thousands, about 50,000 likely, using medical dispensaries like ours. And it's something that the numbers would be much greater if access was as well. And so Matt's decision helped strike down the regulations as being difficult to gain entry in. And unfortunately, these changes in regulations in some ways may make the courts very happy. And it might, it certainly changes the game in court. But yeah, Matt's decision's under appeal, and hopefully it will stand. But it's a cat and mouse game anyway. And like I say, you should read our feature article there to catch up on things. But bam, 20 points there for Smoke on the Water. So they're serious. They got 45 points to Motley Crew's 20. But
Ed says he's going to be
there's lots of chances to get points here. And we got the smoking contest. So
it just expands and expands and
this
expands.
is a pretty simple part of the game. Both teams end up getting a gram a pot. If I could get my lovely assistant, I need a lovely assistant or two.
Lovely? Oh,
you don't mind helping out here?
Watch my bag, will you? Me.
Oh, you're lovely, Pete, but I already got these guys here. Yeah. Right on, right. So it's pretty self-explanatory, but I guess you haven't seen a smoking contest before like this, have you? Okay, so you guys both got a gram. It stays in the bag until there's a magic word. When that happens, you got to roll 2 joints. Smoke them as fast as you possibly can. Stick the roaches in that pipe. You can't smoke the second roach or the first roach until the second roach is in the pipe. So you can't start smoking the pipe until everything left is in there. So yeah, and then first team to make it disappear gets 10 points. Fun stuff. So, you guys, oh, no grinder? I don't think you guys have a grinder, do you? Yeah, no grinders.
Put it on your table overnight and grind. It's like powder.
Alrighty, so tonight's.
That's just brown sugar.
Huh? Yeah, they got a pipe. Yeah. So tonight's smoking contest starts here in 3, 2, 1, go! So again, next week is the last of our weekly meetings here. It's sad that we can't do this every week, but it was too much for me in the past, and so I'm not going to be able to get weekly meetings going here again. But Hempology doesn't stop next week, far from it. Hempology has a lot of different meetings and things that we're doing, and there's actually a sort of subgroup of Hempology that's really taking off. If you haven't heard of Team 420 yet, it's been a great pleasure to get it started and try out different sports at different times. But we've really come across something a lot of fun in dodgeball. And we've been playing dodgeball every Thursday night at 8 o'clock at what we've called Post Square, which is on Pandora, sort of Pandora and Blanchard, across from the Ocean Island Backpackers. And we'll be playing dodgeball again there tomorrow night. But it's so popular now that I'm actually tomorrow buying a second set of dodgeballs, and we're going to move to a second court at the back lawn of the courthouse. And we're going to use a rope for the boundary. So we'll be playing dodgeball at Post Square and at the courthouse. They're going to be playing at 2 locations at the same time every Thursday night. And the more people that keep coming out, the more sets of dodgeballs I'll buy. So we can actually have 3 courtyards on the back lawn of the courthouse before we have to start looking at new places to go to. And so I really think dodgeball is the perfect sport for Team 420 to get into. It's really a lot of fun to smoke some joints and throw balls at your buddies, and otherwise it's not a sport that's been really taken over by these mass corporations and turned into a big money-making spiel. Team 420 is going to sponsor dodgeball, and it's going to be about having fun, not selling equipment or renting space or any of the things that make other sports much more expensive. And so yeah, dodgeball every Thursday night. It's likely that in September we're going to start playing dodgeball at 420 on Fridays at the university. And I certainly imagine sponsoring dodgeball games in a lot of other locations in other cities as well. So again, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, dodgeball at Post Square. But back to the smoking contest. These guys, the wind is causing some trouble for these folks, yes. Just like these guys, I should have gave some updates about it over here, sorry. These guys about 2/3 done both their joints here, but looks like smoke on the water's a little bit ahead, but it's hard to say. That one joint looks really tough. Brandy's notorious for rolling tight joints, so, oh. That embarrasses you, doesn't it? Uh-oh. You're lucky I wasn't on you when you were rolling it, I've been good to you, Brad. I've been good to you. But, yeah, let's see, yeah, no, it looks...
Come on, loosen that up. Come on, there you go, Will. Smoke that.
Anyway, the other event to look forward to as well, in September, we're probably going to start up a Team 420 soccer game every Saturday at the school that's University West, kind of behind where BC Smoke Shop is, and Indoor Garden. There's that school there. There's this unused school ground. My friend's the caretaker of the property, and so we plan on playing soccer there every Saturday, and we may end up playing dodgeball there and get other games going as well. But yeah, again, you'll have to keep up to date with a lot of this stuff, either word of mouth or through our forums with Hempology 101. But back to the smoking contest here. I don't think we have any roaches. Oh wait, these guys are roaches going in the pipe. Smoking on the water is really working for it here tonight.
My grandmother smoked Don't think of me smoke!
Does your grandma really smoke, James?
She should. She's got
But she doesn't. Easy.
She smokes 2 packs of cigarettes.
But there it is, 10 points to Smoke on the Water. They're just on fire on the water. So,
well, I'm coughing just watching them.
Yeah, all that second hand. So you're standing over it.
yeah, so we have 2 challenge questions in each one of our games.
Well,
And,
Oh, I didn't even know. It doesn't. Yeah, you can use whatever you want. Yeah. It is. It's gonna rain tonight. The wind's cool. 30 knots.
I say, we have a second challenge question in each one of our contests or game shows. And what I do is I get them to write a list of something. And so 10 points tonight will go to the team that can list the most cannabis carols. You sing them all the time when you're at work, right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, we sing them all the time when we're at work, right? Right, Renee? Yeah. Renee sings this book every day and knows most of the songs.
Tell me all the words.
I love embarrassing people. If you know them, keep them to yourself. But these cannabis carols here, I think we sell the booklet for $1. That's not the question. It's write down cannabis carols. I'll take down as well if you have the right or a similar song, right? If you name the real song. But yeah, if you name the real song as well, you can get 10 points. But if you name a wrong song, I'm going to take off a point. So you can't name the wrong song. And I've also learned that one of the best things to do is actually sing a song while they're trying to do this. It just messes with them. So here's our classic Rudolph the Red-Haired Outdoor. You know Time Warp and Big Bud and Durban and Burmese, indoor and hashish and oil and cookies. But do you recall the most famous outdoor of all? Rudolph the Red-Haired Outdoor was a very sticky strain. And if you ever smoked it, you would never be in pain. All of the other growers used to laugh and puff their own. They never smoked some Rudolph to find it has a really good stone. Then one dry and desperate eve, George Bush came to say, Rudolph, with your hair so bright, won't you fill my pipe tonight? Then all the people loved it, as they smoked it all with glee. Rudolph the Red-Haired Outdoor, you'll get smoked through history. Okay, that's it.
He pulled the paper away from him. He distracted them.
And it's too much fun. It just fucks them up when I sing when they try to do it.
You can take
If you didn't, yeah, that's priceless. Thank you so much, Connie.
Hear me, Steve? Cut that out.
So, I did a good number on them, and I really love embarrassing people. Like, most of these crew don't come out caroling, but we go singing our cannabis caroling, hotboxing City Hall, and every December, just before Christmas, the Wednesday night before. And we do a lot of fun stuff with Hempology, and I just love the hell out of that one. But let's see how they did. This one was yours here?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Rudolph the Red-Haired Outdoor. Got that one. Oh, Cannabis Tree. Yeah. Silver Bells. I don't know. Do we do Silver Bells, really? Harvest Time. Oh, yeah, Harvest Time. That's Silver Bells. Yeah, okay. Cool. There you go. 3. Let's see how the other guys did. 12 Days of Cannabis. Deck the Courts. Rudolph the Red-Haired Outdoor. Oh no! Silent Night. Silent Night's not one of them. And I said you'd lose a point if you got an incorrect one. So there, you guys got it. 3-2. You get the 10 points there.
What's the score now?
Sort of cancels out in some sense the 2 challenge points. 10 goes each way. So we got so far the Smoke on the Water with 55 and the Potley crew with 30. So the game's far from over yet here, folks. There's lots of points yet to come. And we're at our music question. So I really like to ask a music question where I'll quote the song And for 20 points will go to anybody that can tell me what song I'm reading from. I'll give you a good hint in a minute too, but Come On and Kick Me, You've Got Your Problems. Again, if you know this song, please keep it to yourself. Please keep it to yourself. But a really good hint is that 10 years ago, this was the #1 song when the Zone radio station started up in town. If you listen to the Zone at all, they play this song a fair amount. And again, this was #1 10 years ago when the Zone came out, a pot song. I'll take the artist. If you know what it is, keep her down, buddy. Keep her down. What do you think it was, Brandy? Sublime. No, it was not a Sublime song. So, the band that sings the most about ganja is off the record. Name the song or artist from 10 years ago. You got to clap. Okay. Tom Petty. No, it's not Tom Petty. He sings a lot about cannabis, but I don't think the Zone would play him. So it's a good hint to think about the Zone. You guys keep it down. Actually, yeah, James, sorry the questions weren't tonight, because I think get the sense you would have done better, but that's just the way it goes, you know? But anyway, are you guys ready to guess? It's 10 points now, right? 10 points for the band or the artist, #1 song, 10 years ago. Come On and Kick Me. You've Got Your Problems. You've Got Your Problems. It's obviously a newer band, being #1 in the Zone 10 years ago. They're still around. They're still putting out music. I'm not going to say what, but they're still going. No, again, keep guesses to yourselves as well. Honestly, it can mess these guys up, and if you guys don't take a guess for 10 points soon, I'm going to go to multiple choice. Come On and Kick Me. You've Got Your Problems. What do you think it was? The Stoners.
He just won.
Okay, 10 points, folks.
That's where he is, all right.
Multiple choice then.
Looks like a guru.
Here it is. Is that Hash Pipe, Weezer? Is it? Is it Dr. Green Thumb, Cypress Hill? Is it? Oh shit, I didn't come up with good multiple choice for this one. Damn. I realized my hints were too good. Uh-oh. Steve Earle, Copperhead Road, or Louis Armstrong? Yeah. Didn't do too good at the multiple choice. Sorry, folks. I've been scrambled lately. Was the quote from Hash Pipe, Weezer, Dr. Green Thumb, Cypress Hill, Steve Earle, Copperhead Road, or Louis Armstrong with Reaper Man? Which one of those 4 songs was it? Which you guys gets here? Yeah, it's Hash Pipe, folks. Sorry I didn't do better on multiple choice. But, shit. Anyway, everybody got 5 points. And you guys can still get the game. You're behind 25 points, so you got to get points in these 2 questions. But, gee, look at here, another question out of the newspaper, the Cannabis Digest. Let's see how many of these folks read the newspaper. And check out the advertisers. Uh-oh. Actually, I forgot. I didn't know this guy was going to be in the game, so let's see how well he's doing his job here, or how much you guys read it. For 20 points, in what BC city is the lemonade stand? Where? Kelowna. No, it's not Kelowna. Like, you know, it's on camera, so I'll only be so tough on you, buddy.
Well, you should get
It's all
demerit
good.
points for
It's
that.
all good. But there's tomorrow.
I'm just gonna zoom in. I'm just gonna zoom in on Fuzzy. Zoom in on Fuzzy.
Where do you think? Vancouver. No, it's not Vancouver. It's not Vancouver. It's not Kelowna. Where do you think? Kamloops. There it is. It's Kamloops. So, smoke on the water picks up another 10 there. So, and with that, actually, Smoke on the Water goes on to the final here next week. So, congratulations, guys. Sorry about that there, folks. But these guys were on fire here tonight. Now, I got prizes for you, so please don't take off when the game's over. But I got one last quick question here. I didn't bring it tonight, but we have a volcano vaporizer at the store. Normally, I have a vapor lounge at the Buyers Club where members can come smoke, but my life's kind of gone to hell lately, and my truck's in the shop, my smoking room's down, my girlfriend's sick, and we're putting it all back together. We're really lucky to have a volcano donated to us within $25 on the online Thorts and Bickle webpage. How much is the cheapest volcano and accessories? Within $25. You guys clap, right? Okay, well clap, come on. What's your guess? $100. You're on drugs, man. A volcano? Yeah, whatever. Okay, within 25 bucks, folks. How much for those fancy ass things? $350. No, they're more than $350 still. Yeah, they're not cheap. What do you think, Brandy? $480. Within 25. 25 bucks. $489. No, it's not $489. So plus or minus 25. Take a guess, Kate.
I saved $550.
It's $539, so $550 is close enough to get your 10 points down. So
You got a lot of the questions right.
that gives you 45 in the end, but the Smoke on the Water was rolling. They took 70, they got the game.
Right after this.
We'll see you guys again next week. Right on. I got prizes for you also. Don't take off right away, including a DVD. But, oh, hey buddy. And more prizes. Okay, cool. If you guys don't know Dan from Sacred Herb here, these guys sponsor us all the time. And, holy cow, we got a water pipe here.
Nice.
So,
Oh, it's only a single one.
I guess, before we have our 42 seconds of silence, I'm going to give this up to the crowd here. The first person that yells out the right year that the Sacred Herb opened.
97.
81.
93.
92.
89!
80.
97!
93.
Right? That's the first 95. There you go. Awesome. So, cool. Again, thanks everybody for coming out. But before we wrap it up, we have 42 seconds of silence each week for the victims of the war on drugs. And in a way, given that Mark's up to his 3 years of getting out this weekend, it makes a lot of sense to dedicate the 42 seconds of silence to him and all the other people sitting in jail that aren't here with us tonight. So 42 seconds of silence for the victims of the drug war, please, starting in 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much, everybody. It's such a great pleasure being here with you every week. And just a couple of quick reminders. These guys are setting up the hot box over here to go hot, probably running right now.